Hey guys, we have a couple updates in the case with Laura Owens and Mike Marraccini out in California. Well, one of them is from the appeal to the DVRO dismissal that she's trying to do. One of her motions was denied. We're going to go over that. And then there's a 911 call that was actually made by her attorney, David Gingras, when Laura was having her family case. Sorry. There we go. When Clayton Echard's case was going on. And so Mike was asked to be a witness there. They did send him a subpoena. David argued that the subpoena wasn't valid. The judge said that he was permitted to appear. He did not like that answer, so he didn't accept it. They tried to have Mike arrested by, calling apparently multiple police departments, but he called 911 at this point. Court staff wouldn't do anything about it because that's stupid. He knew that they were going to testify, and the stuff that he says during that phone call is, in my opinion, blatantly dishonest, intentionally dishonest. But you all have to tell me what you think. So we'll go over this document first. This will be a kind of a quick one, guys. It's only a 7-minute call. One sec. Okay. I see Bruce says he's not playing Fortnite. I haven't played today since the update. I probably will after this. Let me get this. If I don't put my hat on, my hair gets in my way. Haven't had that problem in a while. Okay, so the thing is, I can't make this bigger, unfortunately. I don't know how, because it's a picture. It's not a document, but I will read it out loud, of course, and I'll put a link to where you can find it after the stream's over. This is from our friends Justice for Clayton, the subreddit. And then the phone call we're going to listen to was obtained by Schnitzel Ninja. So I'll put links to both of those when we're done here, so you can go check them out. Okay, it says on December 18th, Laura filed in the Superior Court a designation of the record on appeal, including the following item. 15, it's at number 15, many minutes for November 5th, 2025 hearing, filed November 5th. However, no such minute order appears in the clerk's transcript filed in this court on March 19th. Therefore, on our own motion, we hereby order the Superior Court to augment the record with that document. Okay, so they're putting this many minutes document on the record for the appeal, right? She was asking them to consider all kinds of stuff because her, it was dismissed and she didn't show up twice. They scheduled the hearing twice. She didn't show up. It was really weird circumstances. She apparently was emailing saying she didn't approve of the court reporter being paid for by the other party, and the court would have had one themselves. And then she accused them of possibly using a Justice for Clayton agent or something as the court reporter. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on there. And these emails that she had with the clerk, I guess, were not on the record, that she was asking them to put on there, even though that doesn't need to be there. It's not, that doesn't even involve the judge. So she was asking for all these other crazy things to be on there, including her medical records and shit, which were not part of the record. So, but she wanted them to become part of the record there. So here's the rest of what they said. They denied everything else that she was asking for, which the bottom of it's really funny. Hold on. Lori J. Bain, thank you for the 1,000 joules. I appreciate that. Okay. On July 13th, Laura filed a motion to augment and correct the record on appeal. In that motion, Laura seeks to add to the record written communications and supporting documents identified in the motion and authenticated in an attached declaration. Okay. It's of our rules of court, we may order the record augmented to include any document filed or lodged in the case in Superior Court. However, none of those materials were filed or lodged in the case in the Superior Court, and Laura has adduced no authority for deeming them filed or lodged. We therefore cannot augment the record with those materials. Okay. Moreover, these materials fail to show any error in the making of the record, and because they were never part of the record below, they have not been omitted either. In short, they're not the proper subject of a motion to augment the record. She's just trying to add stuff, What's relevant is that she didn't show up twice for court when she was supposed to. So, Lauren, when you get time, check out the latest info on the Carmelo Anthony appeal. Lots of new info regarding the info withheld from the jury as a result of the gentleman's agreement. I saw that. So I don't know if I will dedicate some time to that separately, but if you guys in the chat are wondering, you can go read JD Miles, a reporter who was there. His update tweets are pretty good. But apparently Carmelo had scared his girlfriend to the point she went to someone at school and said he was stalking her, and he said he was on the verge in text messages and that he wanted to stab someone and lick the blood off the knife, which is pretty bad. So if he were to get a retrial, I don't think that would go well for him. I will say, on the other hand, there was character, stuff about Austin Metcalf, the Metcalf brothers, both of them, that was also on the record, including some graffiti that was said to be racist, among some physical altercations and other things. But like I said, I'll get into that later. But what I gathered from that was that I don't think a retrial would help Carmelo, but these kids, all of these kids, need some seriously stricter guidance. Like, what is going on with these kids today? Like, I sound like an old lady, but like, that's nuts, right? Okay. And I know kids get in trouble all the time, but it's like, dude, that's a lot. Okay. Hey, Brad, what's up? All right. Nor will we grant Laura relief by receiving those materials as new evidence under Section 909. Under that statute, a reviewing court may take additional evidence in the interest of justice. The power to invoke the statute should be exercised sparingly, ordinarily only in order to affirm the lower court decision and terminate the litigation. And in very rare cases where the record or new evidence compels a reversal with directions to enter judgment for the appellant. So, like, adding something in as new evidence is not something that would normally happen. There's like rare exception there, and hers does not meet the rare exception. Here, Laura is challenging a judgment entered against her at an ostensibly contested hearing where she was not present and no evidence was introduced. Which is really funny when you go back and think about like these documents that she's been filing, and she like writes out conspiracy and like angry arguments against the woman who signed an affidavit saying she was at the horse show, and then just like personal attacks. It's like, what are you doing? All right. Also, can't believe, if you didn't see this before, I can't believe she actually said to the appellate court, regardless of what you do here, I'm going to file a new DVRO. Like, you're an idiot. And she's definitely going to do it just to, probably, you know what I mean, make Mike pay money. So, all right. Assuming the proffered materials offer her some help in the instant appeal, it still would not compel a reversal with directions to enter judgment for her. We therefore decline to exercise our discretion to take new evidence. Next, the motion seeks, under Rule 8.155, I don't need to read that, an order directing the Superior Court to correct the minute order, documenting the hearing at which Elo's case was dismissed, to reflect two alleged facts that are not mentioned in the reporter's transcript of the hearing. Regardless of whether such allegations provide historical context for what occurred at the hearing, they do not show that the minute order is incorrect and therefore in need of correction. In short, they are not properly the subject of a motion under that rule. Finally, the motion asks us to augment the record with respondent Mike Marraccini's April 29th fee motion and its supporting exhibits, which they eventually withdrew that. The May 7th withdrawal papers and the procedural posture corrections. But as Mike notes in his opposition, none of these materials were before the court or could have informed the order challenged in this appeal. For that reason, we deny the motion with respect to these documents on the ground of irrelevance. Laura's July 27th request for leave to file a reply is granted, and we have reviewed that reply. Her July 27th request for judicial notice is denied as irrelevant, which is awesome. And her July 13th motion to augment and correct the record on appeal is denied in its entirety. So, that went well. Let me pull this up real quick. Pond Scum Posse, thank you for the 20 joules. I appreciate that. All right. I'm going to move over to the call now. I think she has a little bit of time to actually file the appeal brief. Let me check the Reddit. So, like, it's due in 15 days. So, like, they don't augment the record with the kind of shit she was trying to put on there, but she can still file her appeal brief, which I'm pretty sure she will because she is obsessed with this stuff. Oh, hey, Omar, what's up? And I just think it sucks that Mike is going to have to pay for a response to that, and then also because she's already declared herself a big enough asshole to file for a new DVRO based upon the shit she pulled out of thin air, I guess. he will have to pay to defend himself against that too. So she's just going to torment him forever until somebody does something about it legally. So, all right. So we'll listen to this phone call now. This is the one I was referring to, where they were trying to get Mike arrested at Clayton's trial, even though they knew that he was going to be a witness in advance. And what David says to the 911 operator here is not truthful. So, but you be the judge. You'll have to let me know what you think while we're listening to this. I might take my face off the screen while we're playing the audio here.
Schnitzel Ninja.
Phoenix 911, what is the address of your emergency?
Hi, I'm at the Superior Court on 40th Street and Union Hills in Phoenix. I can get you the address in a minute, but I assume you can look that up.
Okay. What's going on?
I'm an attorney, and I'm here with a client who has a domestic violence restraining order against an individual. The individual is here in violation of the order. My client is scared to death. He's been making threats towards her, and we'd like someone to come out and enforce the court's order.
Hey, so that's a lie. He has not been making threats towards her. Mike at no point wanted to speak to Laura, much less made threats against her. That is a lie. So he's calling this in knowing that Mike's going to appear as a witness. The judge has approved it, even though he doesn't approve based on, what he says is, it's illegal to do so. But the judge already approved it. They did know he was going to be there. And then David tried to get Mike to talk to Laura, despite the DVRO. And Mike said, no, I'm not going to talk to her. Are you insane? Basically, I mean, he didn't say it like that, but you know what I mean? But threats? He never made a single threat. That is a false report to a 911 operator there. So not sure he was ever doing anything about that, but, that's a lie. He didn't say a word to her.
So 18380 North 40th Street, sound right?
Yes.
Superior Court. And do you know the client's name?
Yes.
And her birthday, do you know? Okay. Do you know if this has been served, this order?
It has. Absolutely, it's been served.
So is he supposed to be there or no?
He is not supposed to be here. He does not have permission to be here.
Okay, so this is for...
Correct.
So, as we just said, he does indeed have permission to be there. David is leaving out the fact that he is supposed to be a witness at this hearing today. He didn't just follow her there to say hello and give her a hug, right? This demonic lady that no one wants anything to do with is trying to punish the guy for testifying against her potentially, which, as we know, the hearing was so short he didn't get to, but that doesn't matter. If a lawyer subpoenas you to come testify at the hearing, it's not your job as a layperson to think, I better check into the minute details of how subpoenas work between different states. You think, no, I'm going to show up because if I don't, I might get arrested. So when you put him in a situation where if he doesn't show up, he might get arrested, and if he does show up, he might get arrested, you're doing that to intimidate him out of testifying. This is really harassing, I think.
Shane Party's a different individual, and I have his information here.
Can you please give me his name?
Yes. Last name.
And his birthday?
Date of birth.
So like Omar says, they talked about this in chambers before this phone call. So, dude, this guy knew what he was doing. And I've been trying to handle this, David, a little more with kids glove these days because, honestly, I don't want the dude to come back and be a rage monster again. And I don't want to do that either. I'm tired of it. I don't need that back in my life. But it's really hard when somebody is just such an egregious asshole not to call it how it is. But we're going to do our best, huh?
Okay. Where is he at right now?
He's in the hallway. He's about 20 feet away. My client's locked in a room because we had court security put her there. She's absolutely scared to death. But the guy's here in the courthouse somewhere.
Do you happen to know the case number?
I do. I don't have it in front of me. We're here in front of Judge I have a case number here, if you're ready. This is not the case number for the restraining order. The restraining order was issued out of California. It doesn't make any difference. I have a case. I have both. We're here on a.
So I wonder if Omar would know would this recording be something that the bar had and something that they would be considering, or no? Because I didn't see it referenced, like anything specific here referenced in the bar complaint. I don't know if this would even matter. I'm just curious. Maybe not.
On a paternity matter that this too?
He's not a party to this restraining or to this matter, but he's there.
He's there. He's here.
Okay. Sorry.
He's claiming to be a witness, but he does not have court permission to be here. Not from the California court.
He's claiming to be a witness after the judge told him before that day and on that day that he was allowed to be a witness. Okay. So literally nothing about what he's doing right here is truthful. I understand his, saying California law doesn't allow this, but if the judge tells you he can be there and you lie about that and say he's claiming to be a witness as if you didn't know he was going to show up and be a witness that day. Yikes. He kept going back. I remember to this saying his former attorney, Randy Sue Pollock, from, back in whatever year this all started for him, said he wasn't going to testify, but then later was aware that he was going to testify. So he tried to intimidate him out of that, tried to get him to talk to Laura. Mike sent him a very long email telling him everything he had to say, and David knew he was going to show up. So.
So he's not involved in court case today, right?
He's trying to be involved, but he's not allowed to be. The court order does not allow for any contact whatsoever, including in court appearance.
No mention of the judge, I see.
Sorry. Alrighty. So his ID would be out of California?
Correct.
Okay.
And I have a copy of the order in my hand right here as well. So.
And is he white, black, Hispanic, Native?
He's white, about 6'4".
And how, thin, medium, heavy built?
His weight is listed as 220 pounds, 6'4", feet thin, I guess. Brown hair, nice.
Shirt he had on?
I don't. I only saw him from a distance, and it was brief. But my client saw him and immediately sort of ran into hide.
Has he ever been known to carry weapons, as far as you know, with your client?
By the way, his client is the only one who has tried to initiate contact between them since 2016 or something, maybe before that. It says why'd they lead with Hispanic Native? I don't know. Hey, Jen. So, she's the only one who's tried to initiate contact between them. And he declined. But the fact that he's just pretending that he didn't know Mike was going to be there and testify is hysterical. In retrospect, because at the time he was just terrorizing Mike.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I think he can't. I think the restraining order prevents him from. Well, no, it does say no weapons, but I'm not aware of any weapons at this time. He came through court security, so that shouldn't be an issue.
All right. Do you know what it was for, or what kind of threats he was making today?
Just to be here, just to terrorize her, I guess. He's not allowed to have any contact with her.
He threatened to be here. Are you kidding? You saw the subpoena. The judge allowed him to be there. The judge said that he could be there. That's not a threat. None of that is a threat. That's ridiculous. If Laura can't control her emotions when staring at the people that she tormented for years and years, that's her fucking problem.
It's not an order that just says no threats. It's an order that says no contact whatsoever.
So then why'd you try to initiate contact?
Do you know where he is now?
I don't. He should be at or near Judge Mata's courtroom. I think it's courtroom 101, possibly.
Okay.
He's in the north side of the building. He's within. The order requires him to stay 100 yards away, and he's certainly within that.
Okay, so I have a lieutenant asking if there's any way you can go up to the security guards there, because this is an MCSO jurisdiction. Do you know anything about that?
Which is the logical thing to do would be go to courthouse security, but of course they didn't want anything to do with that. So
Is there any way?
I just talked to the sergeant. I just talked to the sergeant here, and he said calling 911 is the right protocol. So
why do I feel like that's not exactly what the sergeant said? Why do I feel like the sergeant probably said we can't do anything about that? He insisted, and he said, "Well, I guess you'll have to call 911." Not, "Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. You should call 911 to get rid of the evil monster who's here to testify, which you knew about in advance. Would you like a cookie and a hug?"
I don't know.
Your Jan has some
the
chocolate.
court security here, I believe, are sheriff's deputies, but I could be wrong. But he said call Phoenix PD because we're in the city of Phoenix.
Oh, okay. What was your name?
My name is.
Last name? Are you still there with the MCSO? If you could just confirm that with them, because they're driving right now, but I just want to make sure that this is accurate.
Yeah, hang on a second. I'm just looking for somebody. There's a sergeant here I was just talking to. I don't know where he went. I'm literally standing at court security.
Okay. Can you just ask them if this is MCSO jurisdiction, if I need to bring them on?
Hey, there's a sheriff's deputy right here. Sir, I'm on the phone with 911 talking to PD. We have a guy here who's violating a restraining order, and she's asking whether or not MCSO can help or whether the Phoenix PD. No, you're shaking your head. Yeah, it's Switzerland. Okay. Sheriff.
He's Switzerland because he knows that's bullshit.
That's a Phoenix PD matter.
It is? Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right.
You?
One sec. I'm sorry, you said which courthouse was it?
40th Street and Union Hills.
No, the courtroom, sorry, that he's going to be near.
I believe it's courtroom 101. It's on the north side of the courthouse. There's not that many. There's only like 2 or 3 courtrooms in there.
Okay.
So glad we used resources on this.
Okay, all right. Well, then they're coming in right now. David, if you could just step outside and meet the officers.
I will do that right now.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Bye.
Schnitzel Ninja.
All right. Let me go back to the beginning of that real quick. Just want to hear something one more time. Oh, yeah, I guess I have the Anthony text there. I'm low-key on the verge. I'll look at that later.
Schnitzel Ninja.
Phoenix 911, what is the address of your emergency?
Hi, I'm at the Superior.
Yeah. So we're wasting 911 resources for that. There's probably somebody out there who actually needed those resources. Henrietta says a lawyer lying in a recorded phone call. You think there'd be discipline for that? I don't know. I don't know if this is something that is on their radar or not. Buffy Lynn, thank you for the 100 joules. I appreciate that. So, did Mata step in again on this? So she was the one who said Mike could come. And then on this day, he raised the issue again. And I remember that when we were in the courtroom, the first thing David did was like stand up and complain about this. And he said, somebody lied to me. I don't know who lied to me. And I was like, is it possible that you are just willfully misinterpreting what's going on here? I mean, I understand that he said it was illegal. That's really up to the California courts to do something about that. At that point, the judge said that he could testify. He was given a subpoena, whether you like it or not. A normal person is going to comply with the subpoena. It's not up to him to have to know the law. If you're served with a legal document like that, you should have to respond to it. So, remember when Dave Neal discovered ad for YouTube Game Changer we suffered for years? Oh, were you doing ads in the, like when he was playing you guys videos, there were ads in it? Was there ads? You guys could see an ad while I was playing that? Because I have ad free, so that's really weird. Huh. Oh, well. Worst part is he's a damn effing lawyer. Yeah, well. I think he had also filed, there was like a reply to the response in the appellate court. I don't know what the result of that was. Let me go check. Okay. You know what I hate about like Reddit and Instagram ads and Facebook? It's like they try to like bait you in with these personalized kind of things. It's like, just wanted to jump on here and say a huge thank you to all of you. And you would think on this subreddit, it's like, that's a real post. You would click on it, especially because it has a bunch of upvotes, and it's just an ad. And I'm like, I hate that. That is such a frustrating advertisement. So, okay. Yes, there are ads in your lives. Well, I do have ads in my lives, but I'm asking if you could see an ad on Schnitzel Ninja's video within my channel. Because if you're seeing an ad, it's probably just from my stream. So, yeah. I don't see ads because my system blocks ads on YouTube. Okay. Well, maybe you could help them figure that out. All right. If Gingras wanted to talk to Mike ahead of time, he should have done his job and deposed him, not try and use lies to get him arrested. Yeah, there was a whole back and forth about that. And Mike did communicate with him via email, but he never was deposed, and he never sent him a subpoena to be deposed. So that's really his problem. But to this day, they're trying to make Mike suffer for it. You know, with that whole appeal, the thing that we just read in the appellate court, that DVRO that was dismissed, she was trying to get the DVRO based on Mike showing up at this hearing to testify. So, but then she didn't even bother to show up to court. So at least Mike has been at every hearing, I guess, you know? All right. Let me see if I can find that. What is, oh, is that a podcast? I was like, what is Criminal Files? I saw the press was picking up on that GoFundMe stuff. I saw this welfare check video, and you know, I had previously watched the wellness checks on whenever they were posted on YouTube, because I was like, well, if she's doing this repeatedly and making these threats repeatedly and weaponizing them, and you can clearly see that on the camera, and they admit that she's not actually suicidal, that kind of thing, that I felt like that was relevant to see, because that's kind of part of her game, where she makes these threats and tries to get people to like make people talk to her when they don't want to talk to her. So I didn't want to do it anymore. And I was like, I understand people posting that stuff, right? Because it's public information and you guys probably want to see it. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But for me personally, I was just kind of like, I'm actually just sick of seeing these. And I'm actually just sick of watching somebody waste police resources. It's just stupid. And you hear the same thing over and over again with like Jan whining and, oh, it's a conspiracy, so I never went over it. I don't think I'm going to. Also, I'll be honest, like, I don't fault anybody for feeling afraid when somebody's making statements that are of a suicidal nature, especially if you haven't been around that a lot and you're concerned for somebody. But I personally, I don't find these wellness calls appropriate. I think at this point, strangers calling 911 or whatever based on like a blog post where she's not explicitly threatening herself, I just don't think I think it's kind of a waste of resources. But at the same time, who am I to say that somebody can't be afraid and try to do the best they can, right? So, but personally, I would never call a wellness check on this person unless she made an explicit threat, because otherwise this is just who she is all the time. And if something else is going on, then her family has a responsibility to take care of that. So, yeah. All right. I'll look a little bit more. Oh, wait. Okay. I don't think I did. No, I did see that. That's right. The bar responded to this. And then I think there was one more update. Oh, there's a whole section here. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, maybe that was the one. It might have been the latest. I can't remember what I saw. I thought he had filed another document or something in furtherance. But that's okay. I can probably call it a night here, guys. I'm going to keep that one short. I just wanted to break. We've been doing that Lindsay Clancy case, and I talked about that for like a couple hours with Omar last night, and it's just been so depressing. It's like I need to do something else today. It has been so hard to watch. what's going on there. It's complicated, right? Because this is a postpartum mental health issues are something that affects so many women, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. But my whole thing is like, I would like to wait and see if the verdict is just guilty. I mean, I think based on the performance of the prosecution that I've seen, I think that she will end up not guilty by reason of insanity. I think she'll be in an institution. However, the testimony's not done, and we have experts to listen to now, which is very important. And she may just be straight up guilty. We don't know that yet. So I saw these people like smiling and cheering outside of the courthouse, and I was like, this is sad. This is a sad, sad day. This woman killed her 3 kids. Whether she, could have stopped herself or not, it's so sad. And I was just looking at this crowd of people, and like, I understand they're all bonded over this issue of caring for women's mental health and their healthcare and the way that they've been dismissed. But like, I read this report for somebody who's been in the courthouse, and they said not one person had been sitting on the prosecutor's side of the room to be there for those kids. And I just feel like our priorities are so fucked up. And there have been so many wild conspiracies about the husband and his wife, and people are farming engagement by repeatedly posting false information. And nobody cares about that's just not the truth. Nobody cares about the mental health of the people involved here. Nobody cares that these people are being harassed because of the horrible weirdo Epstein pedo ring theories they're posting online. And it's just been so crazy. So for a night, I just wanted to go back to something familiar, which is listening to David lie. All right, guys. Oh, hold on. Hellville, thanks for the 100 joules. Thank you. Appreciate that. And Rochelle Taylor, thank you for the $5. I appreciate your opinion on both Clancy and Owens cases. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it tonight. I just want to make this a short one to check in, and yeah, I kind of want to take the rest of the night just to sit around, honestly. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. See you later. Oh, don't forget to hit the like button for me. It helps me out a lot. Okay. Bye.